Good afternoon. Well, as you can see right away in the video, my scooter is apart. Had the common problem of the throttle body diaphragm got torn and it's down. So I'm just going to show you a couple of things here about it. So you can see everything's out of the way. It was interesting doing all that. There's actually a couple other parts in the shed to go there, but I laid them all out so you can see them. It looks like a daunting task, but actually it's not. I had it completely torn down, bad part out and everything in less than an hour. And that was a few days ago before I ordered a new part. The throttle body sits right here. I keep the rag on it. Let me show you here. Make sure this is properly zoomed in. Hopefully. I got the sun really bright right here. But anyway, that's where it sits. There's a diaphragm that goes here. And this piece right here. I put the piece itself back in so I wouldn't lose it. Diaphragm sits right around there. I'll show you what the old and the new one looks like. This part can only go in one way, so don't worry about it. As you can see, there you go. That's where it sits. Make sure you brush off dirt, debris, and whatever from here. As you can see that from the parts around it, you can see how dirty it actually got there. I have a nice little brush and just brushed it all off before I took the two screws out that hold it together right here. Very, very simple stuff here. Yeah, it's kind of interesting how this throttle body works. My shed's kind of a wreck at the moment, but whatever. Here is the nice new part. It is literally just a piece of rubber. A very expensive piece of rubber. $28. I found it on eBay from a dealer that that goes through boats.net and Partzilla. So basically it's Partzilla and boats.net. They got to be combined or something. But anyhow, it was cheaper that way. It was $30 with shipping and all to get straight to the house. Here, in case anyone wants to know, is the Yamaha part number. Yep. And the new one definitely feels like it's made out of something better than the old one. Yeah, the old one feels very thin and brittle, but of course I don't know how old this thing is. Supposedly there was a recall on this, and my scooter went to check the recall, and it said that there were no open recalls on it. So, makes you wonder. Maybe they did fix it and it was just poor quality material. It happens. Here's the reason why I had to change it. Holding the camera, and there we go. See that nice big tear? Oh yeah. I mean, it's not small. Put my finger right through it. I know some people would say, well, you could silicone that, you could do it. There's a lot of things I could have done, and then since at my age now, I've decided why not just do it the right way. Put a nice new part in it and not worry about it. What this eventually caused, and it wasn't an instantaneous thing. It actually took a few days, and then all of a sudden, after getting gas on the way home, it would barely hold 55 miles an hour. And then after I stopped at the stop sign, it wouldn't go above 4,000 RPM. I was lucky to get to about 45 miles an hour top speed. Not good. So, but after looking around on Majesty.com, that I've been a member on for over 2.5 years since buying this scooter, it's a well-documented issue. Here, let's put it in as you can see it. Alright, there's one of the screws that holds the throttle body diaphragm cover. Nice. I cleaned it up. This thing was pretty nasty, just on the outside. The inside was fine. Oh, there you go. There's one of the screws that holds it together. Number 2 Phillips. Actually, it's number 2 JIS, Japanese Industrial Standard. instantly started to round. This is actually the good one. The bad one's in the house because I went and I bought these to replace them with. Right there. Socket head cap screws. Oh, there we go. As you can see, the size is an M5 0.8 by 16 millimeter, and that's them. I'm leaving them in the bag until I actually go to put them in, because I know me, I'll drop this. But they look cool. Take an Allen wrench, put them on, and they won't budge, they won't move, they won't strip, and an Allen wrench is easier to get in there. Let me show you one more time where the bolts are. Right here and right there. Now if you look straight down at it, now you can understand why it's hard to get a screwdriver in there. So yeah, so I wanted to show you that. I'll show various steps of putting this back together. I don't have a helper today, so I can't film the actual assembly, but I will go over each piece right before I bolt it on and show you the after effect, or show you what it looks like afterwards. Working nights is fun. I didn't get much sleep before this, but this is not an intimidating job. If you're thinking about doing this, do it. Personally, I would get the part first. I took it apart because I have 6 running vehicles. I'm not worried about transportation. You know, I love riding the scooter for work, but things need fixing once in a while. I only can imagine what the dealer would charge with all the labor for taking off all the plastic Tupperware, as people call it. It's actually really simple. Now that I see how simple it is, I am thinking about painting it. Because I just am not a fan of that blue, but the price was right, so I just roll with it. But anyhow, one more time. The bolts. Now you don't have to get the socket head if you don't want to on these. They sell them with a smaller Allen wrench set with a head that almost looks like this screw. But I know these are, oh, they were 80 cents. That's why I got them. 80 cents at Lowe's. And I also get my 10% veteran discount. So I think I walked out the door, it was something like 77, that's right, 77 cents total for me. Well worth it. It was awesome that they came in a little pack of 2. That's all I need. And I'm going to assemble all this. I'm going to go ahead and put those screws in. There's a spring, in case you got one apart and you're wondering. There's a spring right here. The spring goes in the cap like this, and will go inside this. So one end has, you know, the springs going on here. It's not a real tight spring. I mean, it's going to put some pressure on it when fully compressed. Man, it's hard to do. Film this. There we go. It's going to end up looking like this. In fact, let me put this on right quick. Let me put the rubber piece on. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, I put the diaphragm on the... I'm just going to call this a plunger. I don't know what the technical name is for it. You can see it way down in there. There's a hole at the bottom. I'm not sure the exact operation of this, but the way there's a hose attached to it on there, there's got to be some kind of vacuum or whatever pulling this thing up. It's looking like when you floor it, the plunger moves up so it can let more fuel go by. I mean, that's the best explanation I can come up with at the moment. I didn't bother digging into it at all. It's a very strange throttle body, but it works great. This is an outstanding vehicle, so I probably should know more about it. I have the service manual, but anyway, the spring, once again, one-handed here, yeah. Tripod, where are you? Okay, the spring goes in there like that. That's how I'm going to put it back in. Then this cover will go on top of it. The whole thing will snug down. Those screws do not have massive torque on them, so I got to be careful with that Allen wrench. But that's it. I'm going to go ahead and put this on, and I'll show you what it looks like after. Alright, we're back here. Got the cover on. It had two little cable hold downs, so you put underneath the bolt heads to hold this wiring harness in. Got rid of that. They were kind of boogered up. Good old plastic cable zip ties hold everything in place just fine. Anyhow, here's what it looks like when it's done. When you go to put this on, oh good, neighbor kid's in the band now, yay. When you go to put the cap on, make sure that the little rubber edge, you'll see what I'm talking about, it has to fit in that little groove. When you put that cap on, be very careful not to pinch it. You know, it can get caught if you're not careful. Just take your time, make sure you have your tools that you're going to use to put whatever screws you put on there. Make sure you have all that stuff nearby so you're not holding it still and can't reach it. I have done that. Not in this case, but I have done that. It's crazy. So the thing to do right now, because I didn't even disconnect the battery. Battery says here, you know, starter solenoid hanging off the back. I'm going to start this thing up, and I want to hear it run. I'm also going to try to apply some power to it to see if it's improved. I'm going to power brake it. Don't know how I'm going to. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and start it right now, so I can show you all what goes on. Because there's no disconnected fuel lines, there's no nothing. Everything is good. Scooter's on. Apparently so is the right turn signal. Okay. Let's fire it up. Make sure you're on the center stand. I guess I didn't say that already, but rear brake, idling a little high at the moment. Within specs, but stand right here. I'm going to zoom in on it. Okay, there it is. It's running. I'm going to try the power brake thing, but that requires both hands. I took shortcuts with this thing, taking it apart. Like you're supposed to take these brackets off that hold the, what do you call it, a storage box in place. That storage box, man, that thing is awesome the way they designed it. They did a really good job on this scooter. It's kind of a shame almost they decided to discontinue it for the US. I wouldn't mind getting a newer one. But there's nothing wrong with this one. It's an 05. First year they made them. Need some different shocks, but anyhow, I'll try power braking it, and then I'll start putting it back together. The first thing that's going to go in is that storage box. This thing's got all kinds of storage. That's why I haven't replaced it with a different scooter. Plus having a 400 under the hood. Pretty cool. I'll be back in a minute. Here we have the storage box back in place. I've got tools and crap inside of it. I don't have the wires hooked up yet for the storage light because it'll be on. I don't want that. Here's where the bolts are. It takes 10mm sockets on these two bolts right here. And you have the same two bolts right here. I'm not sure what the torque is. I honestly did not check. I know because they are actual bolts. They have a torque rating. I just snugged them up really good. And don't forget the screws. Got them here. It's got a little pilot hole in the plastic. I'm sure you can see it. Make sure that that's in place. Now I took shortcuts. You were supposed to take these sides off. And I can see why they tell you to do that. It makes it a lot easier. But I was able to snap all the pieces back in. You got screws. Oh, I'm sorry. You got, yeah, one right here. And another one on this side right here as well. And make sure you tighten these brackets up if you don't take them off. Honestly, if you want to save yourself some trouble, just take them off. I just loosened them up so I wouldn't have a bunch of stuff laying around. But anyhow, on to the next part. Here we have the bottom of the seat on. Couple things. You have these bolts down here. Okay, take 6mm Allen wrench. However, I would use an Allen wrench maybe to start them. Don't use it to tighten them. Get yourself a nice little socket. You put more torque on it, those bolts need to be tight. What I did is I put them on loosely before I put the gas piston on, by the way. Put them on loosely because there's room to move it so you can adjust the seat how it closes. Then I went ahead and closed the seat, set it how I wanted it, tightened the bolts down, then checked it a few times to make sure it operates okay. Whee! Ta-da! That's it. Not much to that. Now right here, you have a nice little cotter pin that holds this assembly together. Don't take it apart from that end. You can, but honestly I thought it was easier this way, because you take it apart from there, then it's going to stay attached. So when you go to take the seat off, you're going to have a real fun time. Disconnect this, pull the cotter pin out, slide the thing off. It'll extend all the way out. That's not a problem. All you have to do to put it on, just put the seat all the way up, push it on a little bit, and then you'll be able to snake it on there. It's not that difficult. On to the next part. Alright, the whatever this part is called goes over here. This is the part you actually see. This you don't. 6 screws. Make sure you don't lose them and whatnot. Next part, gas cap. Well, gas tank, whatever it's called. Jeez. There it is. Gas tank area cap thingy cover. Just 2 screws. Snap this part, this top edge right here up underneath. You'll see. Mine's never actually sat good down here. I'm not sure what the whole deal is. Apparently, something got bent once upon a time. I mean, it's nothing extraordinarily bad. It's just I noticed it doesn't sit perfect on both sides. But it functions fine. It's really cool. A little locking gas cap area, etc. Now let's get this seat on. Okay, seat's on. 4 bolts holding it on. Let's see, make sure I can get them in the picture here. Here, here, and here. As you can see, you have different spots to adjust with. The front ones just slide. They just lock it down. This one does the actual adjusting. Since I'm 6'1" and 200 none of your business pounds, I have it all the way to the rear. Fits me the best. Now let's get these side covers on. Both side covers are on now. Got a screw here, 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 and hopefully I can show you this. And the glare. Anyway, I hope it's in there. Right there. One right there. Same on both sides. And the last one, right here on the side. Come on, camera. There you go. Right there, underneath this cover. So when you're done, just go ahead and snap the cover back in place. Boom, yeah. Of course, doing everything one-handed. But anyway, there you go. Now, let's get this grab rail on. Grab rail is on, right here. 4 large bolts. Again with the 6mm Allen socket. Get in, and at this point, make sure you plug in your under the seat light, or else you'll be taking the back seat back off. We'll go ahead and get these rear covers on first, and then put the back seat on the cover there, and we're done. Whoa. Starting to look like a bike again. Got to put the famous back cover on. If you've had your Majesty for any length of time and had to get to the fuses, the battery, or whatever, you know how much fun it is to get to that cover with the pop rivets. So, I'm not using them. I use these self-tapping screws. 8mm head. Holds it better than it ever did before. If you lose that piece, you'll be amazed at how much it costs. So it's fun snaking it in there. That and the seat, and we'll be done in a minute. There's the back cover in place. The seat, there's one bolt holding the seat on. You have to have the top up first to do it. Right there. 5mm Allen bolt. Don't lose it. You just push the cushion up a little bit, get it out. Gotta have the seat lifted up. Let me out. It's got clips in here. You'll see. It is incredibly easy. I find amazing is that the service manual tells you to take this part off first. Well, you can't because this is holding it down. So anyhow, there it is. All back together. My baby's alive. Now, let's do the road test.